Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/slash Tales from Tech Support. In today's episode, getting yelled at by my LT in Iraq for doing my job. The right mouse button? Did you know you can install 32-bit Windows on 64-bit hardware? Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Getting yelled at by my LT in Iraq for doing my job. A little background on me. I was an indirect fire infantryman, mortarman, in the Army in the late 2000s, early 10s. I deployed to Iraq in 2008. At the time I was the platoon RTO, radio telephone operator, /FDC, fire direction computer. I was in charge of our radios and basically any technology in our platoon used. I had no formal training, I was just learning on the fly. In Iraq, we were assigned some new vehicles called MRAPs. We had Strykers and Humvees back in Alaska, but these were new. As such, I didn't know much about them other than how to drive them. One of my duties though was to change the ComSec out of each of the radios as we needed. I knew changeover was coming and we were using our vehicles to travel back to the main base. I loaded up the vehicles that were known to me and went to the MRAP last. I went to fill the radios and all was good. However, I always did a radio check afterwards to make sure everything worked the way it should. I had hopped in the vehicle, disassembled what I needed to, and then reassembled the way it came apart. Or so I thought. When I conducted the radio check, I noticed that no matter what channel I put the internal comms on, it would only transmit on the top radio. Both Channel A and Channel B would only transmit on Radio A. I couldn't figure out why. I informed the staff sergeant going on the convoy that I couldn't figure out what was going on. I could hear chatter from both radios, but could only transmit on the one. He told me to speak with the commo guys and see if we could figure out the issue. When it came time for the convoy, I let my platoon leader know the issue, and that if he wanted to speak on the other channel he'd have to manually change the frequency on the A radio to transmit or let one of the other trucks know to respond. He acknowledged and on we went. I was up in the turret manning a machine gun and noticed my PL getting more and more frustrated with having to change the frequency and messing with the radios. We then get to the main base and he calls me to the back of the truck. He proceeds to put me at attention and just lay into me. He basically said I had failed, and that I endangered us all, because I hadn't done the basic tasks of getting the radios filled, and I could have caused the deaths of all of us because I was too lazy to do my job. Something to that effect. After about what felt like forever, probably more like 5 minutes, of being chewed out, that staff sergeant from earlier intervened and let him know it was a known issue, and that I was to go to the commo guys and troubleshoot. Which I was then dismissed and I sprinted to the commo shack to get out of there. After troubleshooting with the commo guy, we realized the MRAPs didn't have the same radio rack as the Humvees and couldn't transmit through the second radio without the B radio being plugged into a separate cord. When I put the radios back together, I plugged that cord for the B radio into the A radio, and that's why it looped. I felt really dumb and should have troubleshot that myself. My PL did apologize to me later for blowing up when he didn't know the whole story. The right mouse button? I work IT help desk at a university, and thought you guys might find this mildly entertaining, if not frustrating. This time of year we get many requests for account resets, unlocks, and just general access assistance as students shake of the rust of summer and prepare for the semester. This particular university has a high percentage of older students as well, older being over 30. Students, particularly the older students, tend to call in very stressed over what is normally a very simple issue. Most of my job around this time is usually more focused on calming the user down enough to walk them through what they have to do to gain account access. One call I received from an older gentleman went like this. Me, you've reached University Help Desk, how can I assist you today? User, your system isn't working. Me, what seems to be the issue, sir? User, it won't go, it's not doing what it's supposed to do. Me, okay, well. What system are you working with? User, I'm trying to access my account, but your system is sh*t. Me, okay, please provide me with your ID number, and I can take a look at the account. I get the number, take a look at the account, and nothing seems to be wrong. Me, sir, are you getting any error messages when you try to log in? User, no, it's just not going. You really need to come up with a better way of doing this. Me, I understand, sir, but let's focus on making sure you can get into the account for now. What happens when you try to log in? User, you aren't listening to me, nothing happens, it just doesn't work. Me, okay. Walk me through it, step by step. You get to the landing page. User, yeah. Me, you see the sign in button? User, yeah. Me, okay, what happens when you click the sign in button? User, nothing. How many times do I have to say it? Me, alright sir, well can you describe to me what you see on the page right now? User, I just see open link in new page, open link in new tab, save link as. Me, mentally facepalm. This can't be happening, this has to be a goddamn nightmare. Me, verbally sir, when you click on the sign in button, are you clicking the right mouse button or the left mouse button? User, what the f*ck do you think? I'm clicking the right mouse button. Me, This is gonna sound weird, but do me a favor and try clicking the left mouse button. User, oh wow, that worked, I can enter my credentials. You know, you guys really need to fix your goddamn system, it's really not very obvious what you need to do. Terrible service. Me, you have a great day, sir. Formatting, hopefully I didn't make it worse. Thanks you /loopy. Did you know you can install 32-bit Windows on 64-bit hardware? The IT department had all been fired, and I was part of the new team. I was tasked with refreshing basically our whole fleet of machines, since a number of people were using computers from the days of WinXP. The older /low-power 64-bit machines I was told to clean up and refresh to use for kiosks, and to send the 32-bit machines to a waste. So, whenever I got a computer back, I'd run a script that would output the version of Windows installed. 32-bit goes to dermo, 64-bit gets refreshed. It was not until after I had sent a dozen computers with NVMe drives, 16 GB RAM, and 7 CPUs to a waste that I learned. The previous team had done a clean install of Windows. Windows 10 has a 32-bit version. It is possible to install a 32-bit version of Windows on 64-bit hardware. These machines had been clean installed with Win 10 32-bit. Needless to say, I made some changes to my script after this.